Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're using the Paletopoly palette to create this eyeshadow look. I think it's really fun. It's not at all what I was planning on it being. I had a very different idea in my mind, but when I dipped into a couple of shades, they weren't exactly what I was expecting. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, here's how the eyeshadow look turned out, and I think it's pretty. If you'd like to see how I did it, stick around. If you're new here, hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing before you leave if you like this kind of content. Alright, so for today's look, I definitely want to use the Paletopoly palette from Ace Beauté, but all I know is that I want to play with a pink. I'm not even sure which pink I want to play with, I just know that this palette has a couple really pretty pinks, and I want to do something with a pink matte. I may or may not bring in a matching shimmer. It might be more of a contrasty shimmer, I'm not sure. And then you may remember that I'm doing a palette pull-in project, which I can card above for you. Basically, a palette has been chosen randomly from within my collection, and I have to use the shades in consecutive order. It's like a mini palette bingo. So I have used the first 3 shades so far. I'm on shade number 4, which for today's look is going to be this one right here called Sandalwood. Obviously not going to be a challenge to use that, but I'll get it done. I'll check it off my list and move on to more exciting colors. So I've already primed my eyes. Everything that I'm using is linked down below in the description box. Let's zoom in and get going. I honestly think for the Sandalwood shade, I might end up using it to simply blend out whatever else I do, because I don't have a plan. I have no plan. I just know that I want to use a pink matte. So let me take a medium blending brush and go into a pink matte. I think I'm going to take the shade Neon. I haven't used this shadow at all. I've mainly used the greens in this palette so far, but the formula is so good. I'm excited to dip into other colors. I made a video ranking all of my recent palettes, and I don't think it's live yet, but keep an eye out for it because it's coming soon. And this palette ranked, well, I won't tell you where it ranked, but it ranked pretty high because it's great. So this is the shade Neon. I think I'm going to place it just in the outer corner. Yeah, I think I'll just do it in the outer corner, and then I'll probably blend it out with that palette pull-in shadow. That is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush and go into the Sandalwood shade from the Through My Eyes palette. I'm just going to kiss the edges of this pink neon shade. I'm also going to bring Sandalwood in my inner corner. I thought about doing a halo eye, but I have a halo eye in mind for a palette that I'm using in an upcoming video, and I think that the colors I want to use today with the halo eye plan is going to compete too much with that expected look, so we'll just do this today. Even though these are not the same company or the same formula, they're blending pretty nicely, honestly. I don't think this Through My Eyes palette gets enough credit. It's not the absolute best thing ColourPop has ever released, but it's definitely better than a lot of things they've released. I mean, ColourPop's quality definitely fluctuates a bit more than it should, honestly, given that they're produced in-house. I like the Through My Eyes palette. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave that like it is and dip into the lower lash line now. I'm going to start with a smaller blending brush and take the shade Vogue and put this on my inner lower lash line. I'm going in pretty light-handed with this one because it's not quite as light-toned as I would prefer for this part of my eyelid. I would prefer a much lighter, more pastel, but this isn't bad, so I'm just going in quite lightly. I've been wanting all day to do my eyeshadow. I won't even say to film. In this season of life, I just have to accept that I can film when I can film and not try to schedule or stress about it. So I really wanted to do my eyeshadow today. I thought it might have to be interspersed between children's activities. Same brush, cleaned off, going into the shade Friends. Fortunately, I got the 2 youngest ones to have their naps coincide after trying all morning, honestly, because now it's like 2 in the afternoon. But that's all right. Again, I wanted to do my eyeshadow, and I'm pleased that I get to film it, but if I hadn't, I still would have done it. So this purple shade, it totally works with the pinks, and it works with my shirt, but it's also because I'm mixing it with the pinks, kind of leaning a little bit more blue, which works with my shirt on a second level, because my shirt has the blues and the pinks and the purples. So this is working out beautifully. I can't resist. I can't help myself. I have to deepen the outer corner. It just wants to be deepened. But maybe I'll wait and see if the shimmer completes the look for me or if I continue to want to deepen it. I spoke too soon and my baby just woke up. I don't know. My older daughter's trying to settle her. We'll see. This is a flat brush. I'm going to grab the shade Acid Wash, then I'm going to spray it and lay it on my lid space. I'm going to start this at the center of my lid because I don't know how light toned it is. I haven't used this shade at all. If it's too dark, I don't want to bring it all the way at the inner corner. So I'm going to start it on my center and go from there. That's pretty. Okay, so this now I definitely need to deepen my outer corner because the center is darker than the outer corner. And I'm glad that I didn't bring it onto the inner part of the lid space. It's a really pretty shimmer. It's just I wasn't quite sure how it would play out. So now that I know, I will make adjustments accordingly. Same brush, I've cleaned it off and I'm taking the shade VHS and I will spray this as well. I've used this one before. I think it's kind of a topper shade. It's not super pigmented with a color. It's sort of a bronzy, green, gold, silver sort of thing. Definitely more of a topper shade, but it's gonna work at this inner corner and it'll help transfer into the blue shimmer without bringing a ton of color. Do you know what I mean? Thank you. Yeah. I definitely need to deepen the outer corner now because the center of the lid is darker than the matte. So I'm taking this smaller blending brush and going into the shade Mixtape, which I think is a super deep burgundy. I'm not entirely sure. It looks a little bit brown in the pan, but I think it's more burgundy. And I'm just gonna put this in my outer corner. Hopefully you guys can't hear the baby crying, but if you do, no worries. I'm about to go up and take care of her. I'll have to finish this later. Just for my inner corner, I've taken a small blending brush and I've taken the shade Scrunchy, which is the yellow shimmer, and I'm putting this right here. I really like this shade. This one has worked so beautifully with all the greens that I've paired it with, but it would also look amazing with blues. It'll look great with pinks. Honestly, this is a very versatile color because it's a light yellow, so it's bright, but it's not too lemony or too sunshiny, or it's not really too anything. It's just a nice yellow. So I'm putting this on my inner corner and that's the eye look. I'm gonna go take care of my baby. I'll be back later. For you guys, it'll be in a few seconds. I'll tell you how I finish off the eye look. So this is not at all what I was expecting. I had in my mind to do like a bright pink in the outer corner and then lighter from there. That is not what happened. I think it was the blue shimmer that really threw me off because it was darker than I was expecting. And so then I had, for my own taste, I had to meet the depth of the blue into the depth of the outer corner. So I had to add color into the outer corner. And I don't know, I like how it turned out. I actually think it's a really fabulous match for my shirt, but it's not what I was planning on doing. But you know, perfect example of you have to just make it work or take it off, and I didn't have time to take it off. My baby definitely did wake up and I nursed her and then I got spit up on multiple times, and anyway, that's where we are. Let me tell you how I finished. In my waterline, I'm using the color White Frosting from ColourPop's Creme Gel Liners. That was on the inner part of the waterline, and on the outer part, I'm using a dark purple. It's called Champs. I have the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Cinnamon Roll on my lips, and I topped it with the ColourPop lip oil in the shade Cosmic Click. That is everything. I have some mascara on. I am kind of hot though, so I tried to pat some powder in. Everything that I've used, again, is linked down below. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this eyeshadow look. Let me know what you think, even though it was a bit of a mess to get here. It's not to do with the palette, it's because of the colors that I picked, but I think it's really pretty anyway. I appreciate your hanging out with me, for clicking on my channel. I hope that you will subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you again very soon in my next video. Bye!